Last journey for murder victims from the 28th of the 12th 95. A horse-drawn carriage feasted with flowers led a contours of mourners as family and friends paid last respects to murdered Patrick Tate. Relatives dabbed their eyes to hide their grief as they left St Gabriel's Church in Pitsea following a moving ceremony. The tranquil winter service was a far cry from the brutal killing of Patrick Tate, Tony Tucker and Craig Rolfe by a gunman in a quiet Retterton Lane on December the 6th. Friends and family had gathered earlier at Tate's Gordon Road house in Basildon on Friday, later following the carnage, carrying the coffin to the church. Police directed traffic as a bell tolled for the 25-minute service in which a brother gave a touching tribute. 4 limousines carrying loved ones followed 2 hearses stacked with flowers. One floral tribute simply said Daddy. A card attached read, "Thanks for the good times." A large tribute made out of individual lettered floral wreaths read Brother. It said, "You will always be in our thoughts, never forgotten, in all our lives." As the coffin was carried into the church by 6 pallbearers, one heart-shaped red and white tribute rested on top. Around 60 mourners sang All Things Bright and Beautiful before leaving for another service at Pitsea Cemetery. TV viewers are helping detectives put together the last minutes of the 3 drug barons executed in a country lane at Retterton, but police admitted there was no big breakthrough in the search for the lone cold-blooded killer. Actors and murder squad officers reconstructed the macabre shootings on the LWT programme Crime Monthly. Within hours of the show, police received between 20 to 30 calls from viewers, mostly anonymous. A police spokeswoman said, "Although there is information for us to follow up, there is nothing of any major consequence to report." Police are still hoping the reconstruction will encourage vital witnesses to come forward. Never to be forgotten. Contours of 20 cars followed a horse-drawn carriage containing Craig Rolfe's coffin, which travelled from his mother's home in Pitsea to St Gabriel's Church, Rectory Road. More than 70 mourners attended a service conducted by the Reverend Laurie Blainley, at which he said a few words prepared by Rolfe's partner, Donna Jaggers, 26, and his mother, Lorraine. Rolfe, 26, of Cowshire Avenue, Chafford 100, was shot twice in the head in a Range Rover parked in a remote track at Retterton, near Wickford, on December the 6th. Pals Patrick Tate of Gordon Road, Basildon, and Anthony Tucker of High Road, Fobbin, were also murdered at the scene. The killer is still on the run. After the funeral, the procession of cars, including 3 black hearses, drove the short distance to Pitsea Cemetery. Wreaths were laid at the burial, including one for Miss Jaggers and their 6-year-old daughter, which said, "You are not gone until you are forgotten, and we will never forget you." Jealous drugs boss shot his own pal. 29th of the 2nd, 96. Murdered drug baron Tony Tucker has been blamed for shooting his own friend Pat Tate and then supplying him with a gun and drugs while he was recovering in hospital. The fateful alleged shooting came a year before both men were slaughtered. Tucker, who was slain alongside Tate and Craig Rolfe on a deserted farm track in Retterton last December, either carried out the 1994 shooting himself or arranged it, and then planted the gun on one of Tate's other pals, it is claimed. A friend of Tate claims Tucker was jealous of Tate's friendship with the other man. The shooting paints a picture of Tucker as a jealous man capable of doing anything to make sure he got his own way. The incident happened in December 1994 as Pat Tate was at home preparing to go to Tucker's party in London. He was in his bathroom shaving when the glass was shattered by a bullet which hit him in the arm. Tate's friend, a woman who does not want to be identified for fear of reprisal, says Tucker stoked Tate's fear and paranoia after the shooting by giving him a gun to protect himself while he was in hospital. She also claims Tucker also supplied Tate with drugs when he was in his hospital bed. The gun which fired the bullet was then allegedly planted at the home of a friend of Tate's. The pal was allegedly questioned about the shooting, but no one was ever charged. Tate had not been long out of prison when the bathroom shooting occurred. He had been jailed in November 1990 for 6 years for robbery and drugs charges, but was let out in July 1994 on licence. When the pistol and drugs were found, Tate's licence was revoked and he was sent back to prison to serve the remainder of his sentence. He was finally released on October the 31st last year, weeks before he and 2 other men were shot dead, their bodies discovered in a Range Rover. Police believe the Retterton shooting was part of a drugs turf war. Tate's mother Marie confirmed that Tucker had supplied her son with drugs and the gun, which was found under his hospital bed. She said, Pat could see no wrong in Tony. Even when Pat was caught with the drugs and gun, Tony said he would own up and take the blame to keep Pat out of prison, but he never did.